Captain Do-hyun Kim stood at the wide window of the Horizons bridge. The stars stretched out before him, endless and bright. His ship had been in deep space for 3 months now. Their mission was simple: look at new planets and check if they could support life. "Captain, I think you should see this." Han Soo, the ship's xenobiologist, pointed at her screen. Her job was to study alien life forms, though until now, humans had never found any. Do-hyun walked over. On the screen was planet KSC 724 bits, a blue and green world much like Earth. But what caught his eye was a small, perfect square shape on the surface. "Is that what I think it is?" he asked. Han nodded. "It's too regular to be natural. Someone built that." The bridge went quiet. After centuries of space travel, humanity might have finally found proof they were not alone. "How far are we from the planet?" Do-hyun asked. "About 6 hours at top speed," answered Park Ji from the tactical station. Park was in charge of the ship's weapons, though the Horizon was built for science, not war. Do-hyun took a deep breath. This could be the most important moment in human history. "Set a course. We'll send down a small team to check it out." 6 hours later, Do-hyun led a team of 4 toward the planet's surface in a small shuttle. With him were Han Soo, Park Ji, and Lee Mi, the communications expert. "Remember," Do-hyun said as they entered the atmosphere, "we're here to observe only. No risks." The shuttle landed a mile from the square structure they had seen from orbit. It stood out against the green landscape, a building made of some dark metal, about 3 stories tall. "Air is breathable," Han said, checking her instruments. "Similar to Earth, but with more oxygen." They put on light-breathing masks anyway, just to be safe, and stepped out onto the surface of an alien world. The ground felt solid under their boots. Blue-green grass-like plants covered the hills around them. The sky was a deeper blue than Earth's, and 2 small moons hung visible even in daylight. "It's beautiful," Lee Mi said, her eyes wide. "Stay alert," Park reminded them, one hand resting on his sidearm. "Beautiful doesn't always mean safe." They walked toward the structure, taking samples of plants along the way. Han was especially excited, talking quickly about how the plants used the same basic building blocks as Earth life. "This suggests that life evolves along similar lines, given similar conditions," she explained. As they got closer to the building, Do-hyun felt a strange tingling at the back of his neck, the feeling that they were being watched. "Park," he said quietly, "do you sense that?" Park nodded, his body tense. "Something's out there." The structure was even more impressive up close. Its walls were made of a material that seemed to absorb light. No windows were visible, but a large door-like opening faced them. Lee Mi approached the entrance, her scanner out. "I'm picking up energy readings. This place is powered somehow." That's when they heard it, a low growl from behind them. They turned slowly. At the edge of a nearby stand of tall plants stood 3 figures. They walked on 2 legs and had 2 arms, much like humans, but that's where the similarities ended. They had fur covering their bodies, pointed ears, and faces that reminded Do-hyun of Earth's big cats. They wore fitted armor and held objects that looked very much like weapons. "Nobody move," Do-hyun whispered. "Lee, can you try to communicate?" Lee Mi stepped forward slowly, hands raised to show she carried no weapons. She activated her universal translator, though it would have nothing to work with yet. "We come in peace," she said clearly. "We are explorers from Earth." The translator broadcast her words, but also played a series of tones and sounds, the best guess of the ship's computer for how to express peaceful intent. The tallest of the cat-like aliens tilted its head. Then it made a sound, halfway between a purr and speech. No one moved. Humans and aliens stared at each other across the field. Humanity's first contact had begun. The silence stretched between the 2 groups. Do-hyun kept his hands visible and tried to look calm. The cat-like aliens watched with yellow eyes that missed nothing. The tallest alien stepped forward. Its fur was dark with silver streaks. It wore a red symbol on its chest armor that the others did not have. The leader, Han Su, whispered. The alien leader made more sounds, louder this time. Its teeth showed when it spoke, sharp and white. The universal translator worked hard, but could only pick up patterns, not meanings yet. Li Mi took out a small device. This might help us learn their language faster, she explained. She held it up so the aliens could see it was not a weapon. But something went wrong. One of the other aliens, smaller with tan fur, suddenly raised its weapon. It made a sharp hissing sound that even without translation clearly meant danger. Park Ji moved his hand toward his sidearm, a reflex action from his training. Don't, Do Hyun ordered, but it was too late. The tan alien fired. A bright flash shot across the space between them. Park dropped to one knee, clutching his shoulder where the blast had hit him. His face twisted in pain. We mean no harm, Han Su shouted, kneeling to help Park. The alien leader roared something at the one who had fired, seeming angry at the attack. But now all three aliens had their weapons raised. Back to the shuttle, Do Hyun said quietly. Slow and steady. They began to move backward, Do Hyun and Li Mi helping Park Ji, while Han Su kept her eyes on the aliens. The wound in Park's shoulder was not deep, but it burned and bled. They think our equipment is weapons, Han Su said. Look at how they keep pointing at Li's translator. The alien leader made a motion with its hand. From the tall plants behind them, 4 more aliens appeared, all armed. We need to move faster, Do Hyun decided. Now. They turned and ran for the shuttle. Energy blasts hit the ground near their feet. The aliens were firing but seemed to be missing on purpose. Warning shots. They reached the shuttle and climbed inside. Park fell into a seat, breathing hard. Do Hyun took the controls and started the engines. They're not trying to stop us from leaving, Li Mi noted, looking out the window. The aliens stood watching, weapons still raised but not firing at the shuttle. The shuttle lifted off. As they rose into the sky, Han Su treated Park's wound with a medical kit. It's not too bad, she said. The blast burned the skin, but didn't go deep. Park didn't answer. His face was dark with anger. They shot first, he said after a while. No warning. They were scared, Li Mi said. They thought we were a threat. Do Hyun looked back at the planet as it grew smaller below them. The question is, what will they do now? Back on the Horizon Asterisk, the crew gathered in the meeting room. Park's shoulder was bandaged, and he sat stiffly in his chair. The aliens are called the Narak, Li Mi announced. The translator picked up enough of their language to learn that much. What else do we know? Do Hyun asked. They're territorial, Han Su said. Their body language showed clear defensive patterns, and they're advanced. Their weapons were beyond our technology. They attacked us, Park reminded everyone. After you reached for your weapon, Han Su pointed out. We need to decide what to do, Do Hyun said, stopping the argument. Do we leave this system or try again for peaceful contact? Before anyone could answer, the ship's alarms blared. Captain, the voice of the bridge officer came through the speakers. We're detecting a transmission from the planet. A powerful signal aimed out of this solar system. Do Hyun's stomach tightened. Can we tell what they're saying? Li Mi checked her tablet. Her face went pale. Just one word repeats over and over. She looked up. The word means invasion. The room went quiet as they all realized what was happening. The Narak were calling for help. They thought humanity had attacked them. The misunderstanding was about to become much worse. 3 weeks passed. The Horizon Asterisk had returned to Earth space to report their discovery. Captain Do Hyun Kim stood in the large meeting room of Earth Defense Command. Around the table sat the most powerful people in human space. Admiral Kang Ta, head of the Defense Command, looked tired. His gray hair was messy, and dark circles marked his eyes. He had not slept much since the news broke. "We have confirmed that a large fleet has entered the outer reaches of our space," Admiral Kang said. "They are Narek ships, at least 50 of them, much larger than anything we have." The room went quiet. "Have they responded to our messages?" asked Do-hyun. Admiral Kang shook his head. "We have sent peace offers in every way we can think of. They respond with only one message, over and over." He pressed a button, and a harsh voice filled the room. The translator converted it. "Surrender your outer colonies as payment for your attack, or face war." "But we didn't attack them," Lee Mai said. She had been called to the meeting along with the rest of the Horizon crew. "They believe we did," Han Su explained. "In my study of their behavior, I've learned the Narek evolved from pack hunters. In their culture, showing any weakness invites attack. They see our peace offers as tricks." Admiral Kang switched off the message. "We've sent them the recordings from your visit to show what really happened. They claim the videos were faked." "What are our options?" Do-hyun asked. "We've placed defense ships around all our colonies," Admiral Kang said. "But we are spread thin. If they attack with their full force—" He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. The meeting was interrupted when a young officer rushed in. Her face was pale. "Sir," she said to Admiral Kang, "the Narek fleet has moved. They crossed the defensive line at Europa." "Did our ships fire?" Admiral Kang asked quickly. "Captain Yun fired warning shots when a Narek ship came too close. He reports that the Narek are now attacking in full force." The room erupted in voices. Admiral Kang raised his hand for silence. "It has begun," he said simply. The next days were chaos. Reports came in from all across the outer colonies. The Narek advanced quickly, their technology far beyond what humans had. Their ships moved faster, their weapons hit harder. Do-hyun was given command of the defense cruiser Defiant *. From the bridge, he watched the battle near Jupiter's moons. Human ships fought bravely, but they were outmatched. "Captain, we have a distress call from Titan Colony," his communications officer reported. "Put it through," Do-hyun ordered. A frightened voice came over the speakers. "This is Titan Colony. We are under heavy attack. Our shields are failing. We have thousands of civilians. Please, we need help." Do-hyun looked at his tactical display. His ship was too far to reach Titan in time. "Send a message to all ships closer to Saturn," he ordered. "Titan needs immediate assistance." But there were too few ships to go around. The battle near Jupiter needed every vessel they had. 3 days later, Titan fell. The colony's defenses collapsed under the Narek attack. Thousands died. Thousands more were taken prisoner. Do-hyun received new orders from Admiral Kang. "All ships retreat to Mars' defensive line. We cannot hold the outer system." As the Defiant turned away from the battle, Do-hyun looked at the faces of his crew. They were tired and scared, but still determined. His second-in-command spoke what they all thought. "If we can't match their technology, how can we win this war?" Do-hyun had no answer. Then a message came in from an unexpected source. It was from Han Su, who had been on a research station studying Narek communication patterns. "Captain, I need immediate extraction." Her voice was urgent but excited. "The station is under attack, but I found something. A weakness in the Narek biology. Something that could change everything." Do-hyun didn't hesitate. "Set course for Han Su's station," he ordered. "Maximum speed." Even as humanity faced its darkest hour, a small hope appeared. The Defiant pushed its engines to the limit. Lights flickered as the ship used every bit of power to reach Han Su's research station. On the bridge, Do-hyun watched the distance counter tick down. 10 minutes to arrival, the navigator announced. "Any response from the station?" Do-hyun asked. His communications officer shook her head. "Nothing since Han Su's last message." Do-hyun gripped the arms of his chair. They had to reach her in time. If she truly had found a weakness in the Narek, it could change the course of the war. Narek ships detected, the tactical officer warned. 2 attack vessels approaching the research station. The main screen showed the small station, a simple ring-shaped building floating in space. 2 sleek Narek ships circled it like wolves around prey. They haven't seen us yet, Do-hyun said. We have surprise on our side. Prepare all weapons. The Defiant dropped out of high speed near a large asteroid, using it for cover. Get me a scan of the station, Do-hyun ordered. Is anyone still alive in there? After a tense moment, the science officer reported, 1 life sign detected. Human. In the main laboratory section. Han-soo, Do-hyun breathed. She's still alive. He made his decision quickly. We can't take on both Narek ships directly. We need a distraction. He outlined his plan. The Defiant would fire missiles at a nearby asteroid field, creating explosions to draw the Narek ships away. Meanwhile, a small shuttle would race to the station and rescue Han-soo. Who will pilot the shuttle? His second-in-command asked. I will, Do-hyun said. 10 minutes later, Do-hyun sat at the controls of the small shuttle. As the Defiant fired its missiles, creating a chain of explosions in the asteroid field, both Narek ships turned to investigate. The shuttle slipped out from behind the asteroid and raced toward the station. The station's main dock was damaged, so Do-hyun had to use an emergency airlock. He docked quickly and entered the station alone. Inside, the lights were dim. Emergency power only. The air was thin but breathable. Do-hyun moved quickly through the empty halls. Han-soo, he called out. Where are you? Here. Her voice came from the main lab. Hurry. He found her gathering data disks and equipment. Her face was dirty, and there was a cut on her forehead, but she was alive. We need to go now, Do-hyun said. The distraction won't fool them for long. Han-soo nodded but pointed to her equipment. We need to take all of this. It's important. They quickly loaded her research materials onto the shuttle. Just as they finished, an alarm sounded. The Narek ships are coming back, Do-hyun said. We need to go. The shuttle detached from the station just as the first Narek ship appeared around the curve of the asteroid. Energy blasts shot past them as Do-hyun pushed the shuttle to full speed. The Defiant will cover us, he told Han-soo. Just hold on. The small shuttle shook as a blast grazed their shields. Then the Defiant appeared, firing at the Narek ships, drawing their attention away from the shuttle. The shuttle slipped into the Defiant's landing bay, just as the ship prepared to jump to safety. Later, in the ship's medical bay, Han-soo explained her discovery as a doctor treated her cut. It's their hearing, she said. The Narek have incredibly sensitive ears. That's why their language has so many sounds we can't even hear. She showed Do-hyun her data. Certain sound patterns cause them physical pain. It disrupts their ability to communicate and focus. A weakness we can use, Do-hyun realized. Han-soo nodded. But there's more. I've been studying their communication patterns. They don't just use sound for words. It's how they share emotions, how they build trust. If we could speak to them in their own way, we could end this war without more bloodshed. Do-hyun finished her thought. Exactly, Han-soo said. But first we need to get back to Earth with this information. Do-hyun looked at the ship's status on a nearby screen. The Defiant had taken damage during their escape. We'll make it, he promised. And then we'll find a way to end this war. The Defiant pushed its engines to the limit. Lights flickered as the ship used every bit of power to reach Han-soo's research station. On the bridge, Do-hyun watched the distance counter tick down. 10 minutes to arrival, the navigator announced. Any response from the station? Do-hyun asked. His communications officer shook her head. Nothing since Han-soo's last message. Do-hyun gripped the arms of his chair. They had to reach her in time. If she truly had found a weakness in the Narek, it could change the course of the war. Narek ships detected. The tactical officer warned. 2 attack vessels approaching the research station. The main screen showed the small station, a simple ring-shaped building floating in space. 2 sleek Narek ships circled it like wolves around prey. "They haven't seen us yet," Do-hyun said. "We have surprise on our side. Prepare all weapons." The Defiant dropped out of high speed near a large asteroid, using it for cover. "Get me a scan of the station," Do-hyun ordered. "Is anyone still alive in there?" After a tense moment, the science officer reported, "1 life sign detected. Human. In the main laboratory section." "Han-soo," Do-hyun breathed. "She's still alive." He made his decision quickly. "We can't take on both Narek ships directly. We need a distraction." He outlined his plan. The Defiant would fire missiles at a nearby asteroid field, creating explosions to draw the Narek ships away. Meanwhile, a small shuttle would race to the station and rescue Han-soo. "Who will pilot the shuttle?" his second-in-command asked. "I will," Do-hyun said. 10 minutes later, Do-hyun sat at the controls of the small shuttle. As the Defiant fired its missiles, creating a chain of explosions in the asteroid field, both Narek ships turned to investigate. The shuttle slipped out from behind the asteroid and raced toward the station. The station's main dock was damaged, so Do-hyun had to use an emergency airlock. He docked quickly and entered the station alone. Inside, the lights were dim. Emergency power only. The air was thin but breathable. Do-hyun moved quickly through the empty halls. "Han-soo," he called out. "Where are you?" "Here." Her voice came from the main lab. "Hurry." He found her gathering data disks and equipment. Her face was dirty, and there was a cut on her forehead, but she was alive. "We need to go now," Do-hyun said. "The distraction won't fool them for long." Han-soo nodded but pointed to her equipment. "We need to take all of this. It's important." They quickly loaded her research materials onto the shuttle. Just as they finished, an alarm sounded. "The Narek ships are coming back," Do-hyun said. "We need to go." The shuttle detached from the station, just as the first Narek ship appeared around the curve of the asteroid. Energy blasts shot past them as Do-hyun pushed the shuttle to full speed. "The Defiant will cover us," he told Han-soo. "Just hold on." The small shuttle shook as a blast grazed their shields. Then the Defiant appeared, firing at the Narek ships, drawing their attention away from the shuttle. The shuttle slipped into the Defiant's landing bay, just as the ship prepared to jump to safety. Later, in the ship's medical bay, Han-soo explained her discovery as a doctor treated her cut. "It's their hearing," she said. "The Narek have incredibly sensitive ears. That's why their language has so many sounds we can't even hear." She showed Do-hyun her data. Certain sound patterns cause them physical pain. It disrupts their ability to communicate and focus. "A weakness we can use," Do-hyun realized. Han-soo nodded. "But there's more. I've been studying their communication patterns. They don't just use sound for words. It's how they share emotions, how they build trust. If we could speak to them in their own way, we could end this war without more bloodshed." Do-hyun finished her thought. "Exactly," Han-soo said. "But first we need to get back to Earth with this information." Do-hyun looked at the ship's status on a nearby screen. The Defiant had taken damage during their escape. "We'll make it," he promised. "And then we'll find a way to end this war." The plan was simple but dangerous. Admiral Kang would lead the main fleet in an attack near Jupiter. This would pull the Narek ships away from their path to Earth. Meanwhile, Do-hyun would take the Horizon now rebuilt and modified, on a secret mission to the Narek command ship. "Your team will be small," Admiral Kang told Do-hyun. "Just you," Han Su, Li Nai, and Park Ji. Park, Du Hyun asked with surprise. Are you sure? Admiral Kang nodded. He knows Narek ships better than anyone. He studied the data from Titan's fall. You need him. Do Hyun couldn't argue with that, but he worried about Park's anger. Would it put the mission at risk? The Horizon was different now. The science equipment had been replaced with Han Su's sound devices. The ship itself had been painted black to hide better in space. It was no longer a ship of exploration, but of war. Han Su checked her equipment one last time. This will emit the sound frequencies that hurt Narek ears. But it's not just a weapon. It's a way to make them listen. Li Nai practiced her message again. The Narek sounds were hard for a human throat to make, but she had worked for days to get them right. Park Ji loaded his weapons. His face was hard, his eyes cold. Remember, Du Hyun told him, this is not about revenge. It's about saving Earth. Park said nothing, just checked his gun again. The battle near Jupiter was chaos. Admiral Kang's fleet fought bravely, their ships darting between the larger Narek vessels. They could not win, but they didn't need to. They just needed to keep the Narek busy. While the battle raged, the Horizon slipped through space, running dark with minimal power. They passed Narek patrol ships without being seen. There it is, Park whispered, pointing to the screen. The Narek command ship was massive, 3 times the size of Earth's largest vessel. It sat at the edge of the battle, directing the other ships. How do we get inside? Du Hyun asked. Park pointed to a small opening on the side of the huge ship. Supply docks. They won't expect an attack there. The Horizon moved slowly toward the opening. One wrong move and they would be spotted. Ready? Du Hyun asked his team. They all nodded, even Park. The Horizon slipped into the dock, landing quietly among Narek supply containers. The team put on their spacesuits and prepared to leave the ship. Remember, Han Su said, we need to reach the main communication center. That's where we can broadcast to all Narek ships at once. They moved through the Narek ship carefully. The hulls were taller and wider than human ships, made for the larger Narek bodies. Strange smells filled the air, even through their suit filters. Park led the way, using the maps he had studied. They avoided Narek crew when possible and used Han Su's sound device at low power when needed, causing nearby Narek to become confused and disoriented. They were close to the communication center when disaster struck. A group of Narek warriors appeared around a corner. There were too many to avoid. Use the device, Du Hyun whispered to Han Su. She turned it on, and the Narek immediately grabbed their ears in pain. But one warrior pushed through the pain and raised its weapon. Park raised his gun in response. His finger tightened on the trigger. No, Du Hyun said. We can't kill them. It will ruin everything. Park's hand trembled. The Narek warrior snarled, fighting against the painful sounds. They killed my sister, Park said, his voice tight. We don't know that, Li Mai said gently. She could be alive. But if you fire that weapon, we'll never get to speak our message of peace. For a long moment, no one moved. Then, slowly, Park lowered his gun. Do Hyun used a stun weapon instead, and the Narek fell unconscious. Thank you, Do Hyun said to Park. Park nodded once. Let's finish this. They reached the communication center and secured it quickly. Han Su connected her device to the Narek systems. Ready, she told Li Mei. Li Mei took a deep breath and began to speak the message they had prepared, her voice carrying to every Narek ship in the solar system. The counterattack had begun. Li Mei's voice echoed through the Narek command ship. The sounds she made were strange to human ears, but to the Narek, they were words of strength and peace together. We did not come to your world as enemies, she said in the Narek language. We came seeking knowledge. We offer peace from a position of strength. Han Su watched her equipment. It's working. The message is going to all Nerek ships. But their success was short-lived. Alarms began to sound throughout the ship. The door to the communications center slid open, and a group of Merak warriors rushed in, weapons raised. "Keep broadcasting," Du Hyun told Li Mai. "We need more time." Park Ji and Du Hyun stood side by side, facing the Nerek. Han Su turned up her sound device, and the warriors winced in pain. But they kept coming. The lead Nerek was larger than the others, with dark fur streaked with silver. On its chest armor was a red symbol. "It's their leader," Han Su whispered, "the one from the planet." Do Hyun recognized him too. This was the Nerek who had been present at first contact, when everything went wrong. The Nerek leader spoke, and the translator on Li Mai's belt converted his words. "Silence your weapon or die where you stand." Do Hyun made a decision. He reached over and turned off Han Su's device. "What are you doing?" Park hissed. "Trust me," Do Hyun said. Then he did something no one expected. He removed his helmet, exposing himself to the air of the Nerek ship. The Nerek warriors growled in surprise. In their culture, removing protection in front of an enemy was unthinkable. Do Hyun stepped forward, empty hands raised. "I am Captain Do Hyun Kim of Earth. I was there at first contact. I wish to speak with you directly." The Nerek leader tilted his head, studying Do Hyun. Then he made a motion, and his warriors lowered their weapons slightly. "I am Zark, Fleet Commander of the Nerek Defense Force," he said through the translator. "Why have you invaded our command ship?" "To end this war," Do Hyun said simply. "Our first meeting was a mistake. We came to your world to learn, not to attack. Your soldier fired first. Our soldier reached for his weapon only after yours was raised." Zark's eyes narrowed. "You lie to save yourself." "Then let me show you truth," Do Hyun said. He nodded to Li Mei, who operated the communication controls. The screens in the room lit up, showing the recording of their first contact from Do Hyun's helmet camera. The Nerek watched as the scene played out exactly as Do Hyun had described. "This could be fake," Zark growled, but doubt showed in his eyes. "We could have used Han Su's device to hurt all of you," Do Hyun pointed out. "Instead, we chose to talk. Is that the action of an enemy?" While they spoke, Han Su quietly activated a smaller version of her sound device, not enough to cause pain, but enough to transmit the specific frequencies that, according to her research, the Nerek used to express truth and peaceful intent. Zark's ears twitched at the subtle sounds. His posture changed slightly. "If you speak truth," Zark said slowly, "why do you humans still fight our ships near the gas giant?" "To get your attention," Do Hyun answered, "and to protect our homeworld." "You would die to protect your planet?" Zark asked. "Yes," Do Hyun said without hesitation, "just as you would die to protect yours." For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Zark turned to his warriors and made a series of growling sounds. One by one, they lowered their weapons completely. "Perhaps," Zark said, turning back to Do Hyun, "we are not so different after all." Do Hyun dared to hope. "Then you'll stop the attack." Zark touched a control on his armor. "All ships, cease fire. Hold positions." Park Ji stepped forward, his voice tight. "What about the humans you took from Titan?" Zark looked at him. "The prisoners. They are unharmed. We do not kill those who cannot fight." Park's shoulders relaxed slightly. Maybe his sister was still alive. "We have much to discuss," Zark said to Do Hyun. "Your kind is unexpected." "As is yours," Do Hyun replied. The first step toward understanding had been taken. 6 months passed since the day on the Nerek command ship. Today, humans and Nerek would meet again, not as enemies, but as potential allies. The meeting place was perfect, a small, uninhabited moon orbiting the planet where humans and Nerek first met. Neither side could claim it as their territory. Do-hyun stood near a window in the large meeting hall that had been built for this day. He watched as ships from both species landed outside. "Nervous?" Han-soo asked, joining him at the window. "A little," Do-hyun admitted. "So much depends on today going well." Admiral Kang Ta entered the room, wearing his formal uniform with all his medals. His face was serious, but there was hope in his eyes. "Are you ready for the ceremony?" he asked Do-hyun. "I've told him everything I know about Narak customs," Lee Mai said, joining the group. "But their greeting rituals are complex." Park Ji was the last to arrive. He looked different now, calmer, at peace. He had found his sister alive among the prisoners returned from Titan. "They're here," Park said, pointing outside. The Narak delegation walked toward the building. At the front was Zark, his silver-streaked fur gleaming in the light of the distant sun. Behind him walked 6 other Narak, all wearing formal armor. When they entered the hall, humans and Narak stood facing each other across the room. The silence was heavy with meaning. Han-soo leaned close to Admiral Kang and whispered, "Remember what we practiced." Zark stepped forward. He lifted his head and let out a powerful roar that filled the hall. It was not a threat, but a traditional Narak greeting between equals. In Narak culture, the response to this roar was important. If you roared back with equal strength, you claimed to be an equal. If you stayed silent, you accepted the other as superior. The humans in the room held their breath. This was the moment that could make or break the peace. Admiral Kang stepped forward. He took a deep breath, then let out a roar of his own. It wasn't as deep as Zark's, but it was just as loud and strong. The Narak delegation's ears all perked up in surprise. Humans were not supposed to be able to roar like that. The room went completely silent. Then Zark did something unexpected. He laughed, a rumbling sound that shook his large body. "The last roar wasn't from our side," he said through a translator. "Perhaps we are not so different after all." The tension in the room broke. Humans and Narak moved forward to greet each other. Do-hyun watched as Admiral Kang and Zark sat down at a large table to sign the peace treaty. It would set rules for both species and create areas where they could meet and trade. "We did it," Lee Mai said quietly. "We almost didn't," Park Ji reminded them. "We were so close to destroying each other." Han-soo nodded. "Fear and misunderstanding can be more dangerous than any weapon." Do-hyun thought back to that first day on the Narak planet. How different things might have been if they had understood each other from the start. Zark approached them after the signing was complete. "Captain Do-hyun," he said with respect, "your courage on our ship showed me what humans truly are. Not weak, but strong in different ways than the Narak. And you showed us that sometimes the fiercest-looking creatures can be the most reasonable," Do-hyun replied. Zark made a sound that the translator said meant agreement. "Our peoples have much to learn from each other. This is just the beginning." As they all looked out the window at the stars, Do-hyun knew Zark was right. This was just the beginning of something greater than either humans or Narak could achieve alone. The universe was vast and likely filled with other species, some friendly, some not. But together, humans and Narak would be ready for whatever waited among the stars. The last roar had not been a cry of war, but the first note of a new harmony.